Hi, I'm Nicole Nighthawk here for Australian Musician, and today I'm joined by bass player, songwriter and guitarist of the Go-Gos, Valentine. You've been pretty busy. You've got a documentary coming out as well with the Go-Gos coming out soon. When's that out?
That comes out August 1st, and the coronavirus really kind of threw a damper on so many parts of my life, and I can't complain because, I've got my life and so many blessings. But I was going to do a 23 city book tour, which was just me being Kathy Valentine for the first time in my career. I mean, I've always just been in the band. So I was super excited. I was going to do my soundtrack's very produced. So I had learned several songs and stripped them down to just me and a guitar, where I would play some and then stop. And I wasn't going to ever read from the book. I was just going to tell the story as it fit with the song.
Yeah, right.
Love the intersection of songwriting and storytelling. So there was all that. And then the Go-Gos were going to have a theatrical release of our documentary and show up at all these premieres all over the world, probably even in Australia. And all this stuff was going to happen, and then none of it happened. And it's been quite a loss. I feel like quite a loss. But again, you just look at the scope of everyone. And so, yeah, I mean, I love the documentary. It really goes a lot into the punk roots of the band. Mm-hmm. The Go-Gos came from the punk scene in LA. And so I'm not actually in that part, because when they started, I believe, in 78. Right. And I was in Austin, starting a punk band in Austin. I didn't move to LA until, I moved in 78. I'm sorry. So I might be off by a year, 77. Anyway, they just started, the punk rock movement did so much for women in music. And for me, also, it made me realize that, because when I started, it was a bit earlier on. I'm playing guitar when it's like 1975. I saw Suzi Quatro in England. I was 14 years old. It had never occurred to me that I could be in a band until I saw Suzi on television. And I was like, oh my God. But then all I wanted was to be like one of the greats. I looked up and I saw all the bands I looked up to, Led Zeppelin and the Stones and the Faces and the Who and the Beatles, and just go on. And they're all men. And I'm just like, I want people my age. I want girls my age, and I want to start a band, and I want us to get up there as well. Yeah. So I was very much about being the best musician I could be. And then punk rock comes along. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. If I just, I don't have to play like Jeff Beck or Jimmy Page to do this, to get to where I'm going. Yeah. Look at all these bands that I love that, or it's just about the energy and the song and the music, and it really blew the whole possibilities wide open for a lot of us.
Yeah. And you mentioned in the book how supported you were by a lot of the male musicians around you. And you actually say in one part of the book, you didn't want anything from these guys. Like, you didn't want to sleep with them. You really just wanted them to, sit down and show you some cool stuff on the guitar. Do you think that's partly why, you were so respected and are so respected in the industry?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't see that pattern until I wrote the book. And as I'm glad I saw it and got to say that, because it's actually surprised a lot of people. And what we're talking about for the people, I talk about how every musician I met that was a male supported me and encouraged me. And I don't know how it would have gone if they'd been like, ha ha ha, aren't you cute? Yeah, good luck, little girl. Instead, it was like, oh, that's a terrible amp. Let's go get you a better amp. And, oh, you've got your band. Come open for my band. And here, let me show you which song. Oh, do you like that song? Let me show you how to play that. So it was so encouraging and so supportive. And I liked pointing that out to people, because you always hear about sexism and, and how we're held back and whatnot. And I felt like the sexism I encountered always came from other aspects of the music industry, more the business side, the radio programmers, the people the men that didn't want to give the Go-Gos a record deal, despite being one of the most popular bands in the entire city of Los Angeles, selling out clubs. Oh no, there's never been an all-female successful band. We're going to pass. That's sexist, you know?
Yeah.
If it was If it had been guys selling out every club, they got deals. Why not us?
Yeah.
So, but the musicians were so supportive, and I'm so grateful for that. Um, I don't know if it, I don't know if I would have, it means a lot when you're starting out to have someone you look up to encourage you. There's another point in the book where a producer I look up to says to me, "Oh, you're not a lead singer. You shouldn't be singing lead." And I carried that around with me for, you know, probably 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't try that. He said I couldn't.
Yeah,
And
exactly. I've been told, yeah.
yeah, so it's like, and then one day you're just like, that's one person,
Yeah.
one person you look up to, but still, it's like, so on the one hand, my book is very much about not letting anything get in your way and not letting any obstacles. But then it's very human to have someone you look up to say, I don't think so. And that was a very educational moment for me. And I don't ever try to limit someone in that. When my daughter was a child, she was always singing these songs, and she would say, "Am I good, Mom?" And I'm like thinking, actually, no, you're dreadful. but I was, because you're tone deaf. But I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to say that. So I would say you can always find something encouraging. I would say you have so much confidence. You really sing with a lot of attitude and confidence. And now she's a great singer. And I think it's because I didn't try to limit that and say negative things.
It's amazing how you can have so much positive feedback, but it's that one negative comment that sticks with you.
Isn't that weird? I know.
Yeah.
I made the mistake one time of looking at my reviews of my book, on Amazon or something. And they're all really good, but there's one person that has 2 stars, and that's the one I'm like, like that. What is that about people?
Oh, I don't know. And look, you're also acting. So you've got a movie coming out July, and you're playing a main role in this movie.
Oh, I know this. I'd almost forgotten about it because I did it in 2015.
Oh, really?
And yeah, you think that movies are like I didn't want to do it. I was like, oh no. I don't do that. I don't act. And the guy kept saying, no, you're perfect.
This is your first acting role?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was my first.
Oh, that's so good.
I'd never been in it. I'd never wanted to. And he said, and then finally I thought, just do it. It scared me. I think it scared me. It scared me because I'm vain. And what if I don't like the way I look? What if I'm not good? I'm a perfectionist. And so my one condition for doing it was if I'm not doing as good a job as you want, promise me that you will just say, hey, this isn't working out. We're getting someone else. I said, because the idea of messing up your film or just being embarrassing, I was just horrified at embarrassing myself or not doing it well. Yeah. So the film got distribution. I guess they were waiting to get good distribution. It's called The Transcendents. And yeah, it was a really fun experience. And, I really think that as you get older, doing things that scare you and that are brand new and challenging, it's such an important thing to keep your mindset in a youthful place and keep you growing and changing and not stagnating and safe. It felt very unsafe to do a film. It felt also another thing I started doing was public speaking, and that feels very unsafe.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting to do something like that, especially when you've kind of it's so easy. You fall into your job or your routine or just things that you do competently.
Yeah.
And you don't want to put yourself back in that spot where you're
it's
incompetent.
Uncomfortable.
And, yeah. Very uncomfortable.
Right. So what's next for you? What's in the pipeline coming up for Kathy Valentine?
Oh my God! Well, I'm dying to play. I have a rock and roll band in Austin that's fantastic. It's all females, and I play with a guitarist named Eve Monsey, who's fantastic. And she grew up with Gary Clark Jr. and the two of them together kind of discovered blues, and she's amazing. And
are you playing bass or guitar?
I play guitar in that band, and our lead singer plays bass. Her name is Dominique Davalos, and great band. I mean, super band. I miss playing with that band. I want to write more. I'm trying like, oh, what's my next book going to be? Because I don't want to be a one book wonder. I want to
Yeah.
keep writing books.
Yeah.
Uh, and I loved writing music that goes along. So I've thought about a collection of short stories with the songs that accompany them. I want to keep doing that.
Yeah.
I thought about doing a second memoir. My book stops in 1990, and
Yeah.
there's so much more to this story. The next section is like, my mom, who people get to know very well in the book. I mean, my mom ends up having a massive brain tumor. I get married. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
The Go-Gos get together and break up and get back together.
Yeah.
I'm actually fired from the band and come for 5 years, and it's horrible and devastating. And then I'm back. So there's so much more to this story that, divorce, that's a huge thing. Motherhood,
Yeah.
finding your place in the world again as a woman in their 50s and 60s, dealing with the world when you're not your most beautiful and hot self. It's like there's so many themes that I still want to explore as a memoirist. And so yeah, and then you look at your age and you're like, all right, you don't have your whole life ahead of you. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I've got maybe 30 years to do all this. Better get cracking. So there's a sense of urgency. Every day I feel like is a day wasted if I don't do something productive.
Yeah. I mean, don't say, not at your most beautiful. I think there's a radiance and energy that comes through when you get older and you've got that wisdom and experience. So
Oh no,
you
I
do it,
agree
girl.
too. And I want to inspire women in that way too. I want to say like, hey, I'm having the best relationship I've ever had in my life. And I met the guy when I was 57. So there's so many ways I just want to inspire and give a positive, hopeful message to not only women, but musicians and just people in general about life and the journey that we go through, because our feelings are so much the same. And that was writing my book. That was the most important thing to me, that I was able to get the feelings onto the page so that my reader said, oh, I felt that way, or my pride has gotten in the way too, or I've lost something that meant everything to me, or, I've worked really hard and then somewhere, and then it wasn't where I thought, and I went there, or, people that there's a whole part that's to do with recovery, by the end of the story, I have come out a very changed person. And I have finally realized that I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict and I cannot control my use, which was a hard place to come to because I was very much about control. I wasn't like a falling down, stone cold, drug addict drunk. I was a very functioning person. So there's a lot in the story about the feelings. We've all felt these not necessarily that particular one, but we've all felt something in my story that I think was important to me, that people feel like they were right next to me when I play my first shows, when we go to number one, when you cheat on your boyfriend and you're consumed with shame and guilt, and just, I really put the feelings out there. So I hope that people get the book and enjoy being on that ride for all its good and bad times.
I'm sure they will, absolutely, and I recommend it to everyone. Last of all, advice. What advice would you have for musicians out there that want to make a career out of music?
My biggest advice is, I think the song is the most important thing. I really believe that not only is that's what's going to carry you for your whole career. I mean, the Go-Gos, we could go on tour, on a few months' notice and go out and sell out a certain place. And it's because of a few hit songs that we had decades ago. Good material is everything. We have no production value. We have no stage sets, no big costume changes. It's all based on songs, and I hear that no matter what, whether you're listening to the top 10 on the radio, it's like certain songs are forgettable and some just kind of stay forever. And I really try to tell people, don't don't count on anything without having that material, and that way I don't know. I just feel like it all comes down to the songs.
Yeah.
And even as a player, that's what's going to, if you're not a writer and you're just want to be a session player or a touring musician, you still have to be so tuned into the song, because that's what's going to make someone want to hire you, is can this person make my song come alive and get it, in the place where I want it to be.
Yeah. What's your favorite guitar these days that you're using?
I still play Stratocasters.
So
I have every guitar that you could want. I finally a couple of years ago, I was like, I've never had a Les Paul. I got out of a Les Paul, and I went, and my hand keeps hitting the toggle switch on the top, because I'm used to my Strat, everything being down there.
Yeah.
So I just put it on the wall. I got a nice guitar, but I don't want to keep changing my tone in the middle of my playing. So I play. I still have my 62 Strat that I write about in the book, and have a 72 reissue Strat that I love. I love the whammy bar, heavy strings. I remember when I got serious about my playing in my 30s, when the Go-Gos were broken up, and I thought I was lost musically. And finally in my 30s, I went, hey, you wanted to be a great guitarist, go back and do some of that. So I remember reading that Stevie Ray Vaughan played like 11 gauge strings on the little E. So I went out and I want to do just what Stevie did.
Yeah.
And I play very heavy strings. I'm left-handed, so I can handle that. I don't know. And I like just a good classic. The worst thing now is how heavy amps are. That's the one thing about getting older, I will say. It's like, I hate lifting my amp now. I used to just not even think about it. I just pick it up,
You've got to
throw
get
it
one
in
of
the
these.
car.
Get a Kemper or something. That's a Kemper. So it's just got all the sounds in it.
Take it to the gig?
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amp simulator. So like, you don't have to take your Marshalls anymore. You just take that and just one pedal board, and it's got all the sounds in it.
But what about a speaker?
It's it's got just output, so you just plug it in to the PA. It's got amp simulators in it. That's what you need.
Oh my God, I don't know. I'm so old school. If I don't hear it on the stage, like, I don't like it coming through the monitors. I want to hear sound around me.
There's nothing like standing in front of like a stack or something as they're playing electric guitar. It's just that huge power.
Yeah. Yeah, see, the problem is in the Go-Gos, we have a crew. In all my other bands, I'm the crew.
Yeah.
So it's like,
check him out.
Anyway,
check him out.
I know there's a lot of, I will check it out. I think my friend Jackie Benson uses that.
Yeah, a lot of
Do you
bands.
know who Jackie is?
I don't know, no. A lot of bands are touring with them now, though. So yeah.
All right. I guess I'll have to get modern with. It's like my back or old school.
Yeah. Well, the Kemper is actually quite good because it's modeled. It's actually modeled off real amps, so you get all those classic tones and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe check it out.
All right. Absolutely. I'm all for trying that out.
It's good fun anyway, just playing around with it. Something new.
Yeah, no, the idea of showing up with that to a show is pretty appealing.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway,
you can just go on your little car. You don't need the big car or anything.
Exactly, and you won't break your back. They're too heavy. Stacks are just, big amps, no way anymore.
Yeah, all right. I guess that's where we're going.
Kathy, thank you so much for your time today. It's been so great chatting with you, and all the best for the book, the documentary, the Broadway, the movie, the everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to talk again on the next project or whatever it is. And look out for the Go-Gos documentary. It's a great film, and I hope you can find my book over there. It might take a while to get it shipped, but please order. It's worth the wait. And the audiobook, I think you can just download right away. So check that out as well.
Yeah, you can get the book on amazon.com.au and a few other places. So if you want a hard copy, or you can get the audiobook or download as well. So quite a few options.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration. Thank you so much for your time. I've really enjoyed chatting with you.
Me too, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kathy. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.